All right. This is the Apex Legends Report, a podcast based around Apex Legends, both the universe as well as the game. I'm your host, Lovey Dove, and I'm going to get right into it. Today, I'm going to be discussing Season 7, the big changes, and what that means going forward, right? You know, obviously, we had a lot to talk about in regards to what's to come in Season 7. You have the new legend. We have a new map. That's awesome. No announcement of any new guns. That's fine, right? A lot can happen in Season 7. The beginning is, I believe, November 4th is when the season drops. That is also when we get Steam, finally. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure there's other people looking forward to having well, not really all. There's other launchers and stuff, but having Apex Legends on Steam and what that means going forward is, that's huge. That to me is huge. That's a big change coming to Apex Legends, and I'm excited about it. Also, this new legend, you know, a lot of people have been talking about Horizon and how she is really slated to be a huge impact on the meta. She might be a meta changer. I don't know. I'm excited to see. I'm really excited to see what that means. Is she really going to be as impactful as people have been speculating? I speculate she's going to be. This is kind of a hot take. I think she could be Pathfinder good, right? Pathfinder is huge. I think she could be Pathfinder good with Bangalore tendencies, meaning she can navigate with her ability as well as have pinpoint accuracy in her tactical. That's huge. Being able to be mobile, get into high places, get out of fights, get into fights, so disengage, engage, that's huge, right? But the offensive ability of her tactical to be able to just and just destroy somebody with a Kraber, pinpoint accurate, you're hitting all your shots, right? Even so, ranked Horizon, these people, they hit shots without it, but giving them a Sentinel, now that the Sentinel's getting buffed, that's another big change, but more on that later. But the fact that she is that good, I believe all legends will have that. So the fact that she's that good, she has that ability, and the fact that you can hit these targets pinpoint accurate is amazing. That's huge. Another big aspect to her is her ultimate. Now, having a miniature black hole to most people is insane. It is a miniature black hole. Need I say more? But I think her ultimate, I think there's going to be a learning curve to it. I don't know if it's more of an offensive or a defensive ultimate. I think it could be more defensive personally, because you could you could drop it while leaving a fight and you're slowing people down, kind of like a caustic trap. Kind of like Caustic's ult, or even Gibraltar's. You can use those offensive or defensively as well. I tend to think Bangalore is more defensive with her ult. However, if you know how to use it, you can engage in some fights, get that early damage, and then, crypto ult to finish out any shields if the players got, if somebody did not get affected, there you go. You got double slow, boom. Anyway, her ultimate, this miniature black hole, which locks more or less players in, they can still get out, but you're slowed. It's almost like getting constant hit with heavy damage or being stuck in a caustic ult. You're slowed. Okay. Also, right, you can combo that with your grenades, which will go straight into it. That's awesome. That to me, I think, is kind of the use case to where you're engaging in a fight, you're close up, you drop her ult, you lob your nades. You don't have to wait. You don't have to engage with grenades anymore. I think that right there is a big enough change on engagements. That's huge to me. Using her kit in that way, I think, is going to be huge. All right. Some other big changes in season 7. We have a buff to the L-Star, Other people have talked about that. I mean, basically, it's going to be getting a nice buff. Another big aspect coming into season 7 is clubs, and I have it on the screen. Now, this is kind of what you'll be prompted with clubs going into season 7. You know, we'll have a new tab where all of the management and all of that with clubs will be. Now, with that said, what I would like to see going forward, or what we could potentially be seeing in the future with clubs, is custom game modes, right? I think it might be at this point. I mean, a lot of this is speculation. A lot of what I do is speculation, and I love that because it allows your imagination to run wild, and that's great. Now, custom game modes because of clubs. Possible? Maybe. Why do I think that? Well, with a club, it is a managed lobby, right? It is a managed group, okay? With your managed group, you know, I could see the potential, and I will expand on that even further with some other stuff we know. And that is, I could see going forward, we're able to invite your club, similar like you would a squad, to the firing range, or to one of the maps to do whatever, custom game, right? You could turn on 3v, 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 so on and so forth, or solo, right? Kind of like the firing squad is, right? Excuse me, kind of like the firing range is right now, solo. When you turn on friendly fire, you know, I could see that happening, especially with the, you know, kind of the announcement with the limited time mode. They're gonna have, I think it's like 2 weeks when season 7 starts, and it allows players to get familiar with the map. Now that is pretty legit. I think that's awesome. And I also think to that end, firing range, and I'm gonna get into this more in a little bit, but firing range needs to go away. If you're giving us the ability to get into the maps and explore and get familiar with stuff and whatnot, give us that as the firing range. Give us the option to go into map and bring in our club members or whoever and play. I personally do not think, and these are points that I'm going to be making throughout this video as well as others, but give us more control. Don't limit us, right? Let the community blossom and flourish and grow into something bigger than us, right? Let it be more. Giving us all these restraints and then slowly, you know, giving us the nibble, giving us a cookie here and there, instead of, you know, teasing us with what we could have. Give us a little more, you know? And I think clubs is a great catalyst for that. I see clubs kind of being that start. I think them giving us that could lead us to that, as well as, speaking of leading, leaderboards. Okay, I could see clubs being their push to bring full-fledged leaderboard to the game, which I think is what we need. I think all these websites and these third-party things are fine, they're great, they work, but giving us a leaderboard in game, I think would be huge, because we get to compare our own standings with the community on PC, PlayStation, whatever, at large. That's awesome, you know? I think because we're competing as a club, as a unit, as a team, as a group, with us versus all these other clubs, and then, you know, having your standings and this and that. I think that's pretty legit. That's pretty cool. That's yet another big change coming to season 7. Clubs, I'm excited. I think there's a lot to it. One thing I've been saying behind the scenes for like the longest time, literally since, well, I think was that season 3 when crypto was announced. His drone is amazing, you know, as far as like getting angles, you know, knowing where things are. I could see, rather, I would want badly for Respawn to implement this in the games, and that is using his drone to capture everything. Not necessarily everything, right? You know, not an over-the-shoulder type of thing, but getting into those areas where people are fighting and, you know, just capturing the games on a totally different level, being able to be like, oh, okay, while this team is fighting over here and this is happening over here, we're capturing, you know, ultimates, we're capturing massive fights, we're capturing third party to third party to third party, like that. From a crypto's drone perspective, either high, in the face, obviously drones will be invisible to the players, no one can see them, However, there could be multiple, right? There could be one drone capturing, for example, TSM versus NRG in this kind of nook and cranny, or the Golden Guardians or whoever, right? Insert team versus third party versus whatever. Having that crypto like drone capturing that style, that engagement, or that special moment that we would have never got otherwise, right? Because you only can watch from the perspective of that one team, right? It would be nice to be like, all right, new map, right? There's a Gibby who is on this team, and this Bloodhound shoots the Wraith on the Gibby's team with a Kraber, one shot, headshot, they're down, right? They want to start pushing in. Now, Olympus is a huge map, right? Or rather, it has a lot of open space to where you can get off more Kraber shots, you can get off more Sentinel shots, and down players quicker, so you can engage faster, all right? So, Wraith's down. Gibby's there. Gibby throws up the shield, and obviously quick res, and reses the Wraith, right? In that moment, right, unbeknownst to them, but we, the spectators, are viewing the engagement through one of the crypto drones, and we're at that, like, panning around Gibby, raising this, resing this Wraith, and they get up, right? This is last two teams, right? This is it. This is for the dub, okay? Gibby gets the res off. That team is pushing in, all right? Let's say New Legend Horizon. She uses her ability. She's up in the air. Gibby shield drops. Gibby goes down, right? But before Gibby goes down, he was able to, let's say he gets his ult off. He knocks one of theirs. So it's a 2v1. Gibby, their third is down, all right? So it's a 2v1. All right, they're engaging. Bloodhound comes in, R99, pop. Bloodhound goes down. It's a 1v1, all right? You had the down Wraith who got res, who's like low health. They got 50% of their health left, all right? I'm painting a picture, okay? Stay with me. All right, so the third, let's say it's a Mirage. They're coming in. Mirage is ready, Mastiff in hand. We all know Shoddy's hit hard, okay? He comes in, he slides, sends out the decoy, Wraith baited, you got your baited. That's fine. Wraith whips out, reloads. It's literally in that moment. All right, we're getting this from these angles with these drones. Not all the time, in those instances, we could have a split screen to where we're seeing from the Mirage, the Wraith, they're both hitting their shots. Wraith gets a final bullet, just enough to win the game. They won, and we saw that from such an emotional level. We were able to see that from that res moment to then Gibby going down, right? To the third randomly going down, to the coming in with Horizon and getting that Kraber off to knock Gibby. Wraith can't get the Gibby. Wraith can't. Wraith isn't gonna get there. It's too tense. They're pushing in. You're not gonna be able to do it. But we were there, right? That is what I want to bring. That's what I would like to see. With tournaments, as far as like the addition of those drones, right? To be able to be all around the map, to be being controlled by these operators to capture those moments. And then again, the replay value. You'll be able to replay that in tournaments for time and time again. You'll be able to use that in your promotional stuff to promote tournaments. And this, like, it's limitless. And and it's not fake. That's the best part. People will always be able to go, okay, that's gameplay trailer, right? That's this. It doesn't mean anything, right? But capturing those tournaments from those angles, real moment, tense moments, not just beta testing, right? This happened. This was the game-winning thing, and we can rewatch that. That's awesome. To be able to relive those moments, that's what we need. That's what we need for these tournaments to be the next level, so people are able to enjoy and watch them and grow with it. Another quality of life thing, and I touched on this earlier, that is the firing range and how it should just not be in the game as it is in its current state. I think it's lame. I think it's whack. I don't think you benefit from it at all. I mean, okay, sweet, I get to test the legend now, and I don't have to worry about, anybody taking the legend from me. Sweet, great, but you're not getting anything out of it. great. I can do the quick thing with Pathfinder to get up there and activate the dummies to move around, so I get to shoot something while moving with the new gun. Great, sweet. You're not getting anything out of it. Let's just call a spade a spade. You're not getting anything from it other than, sweet, I got to play the character. That's it. I didn't really get to experience the new legend. I didn't get to experience the new gun. I just got to pick it up and do a quick look around. Oh, cool. And then I go and play the game and I don't find it, because the RNG is arguably not as good as it could be, or I got to be the legend once today in a game, but everybody else is trying it. Okay. And again, I touched on that as well when I was talking about clubs. Having them implement us to use that firing range type, activity, and pick a map, pick an area in a map, even if they were to do it to where it's like, play here, and they don't make it a full map and it's just the zone around an area in the map, that would be leagues better, than this firing range. Because even if they were like, okay, you can play Old Kings Canyon of Skulltown, and even if they just had points of interest, that was the only things they had, and they would add more over time, 1,000 times better than the firing range as it is. They could implement it as like, all right, if you want to, they'll have that the gun loads out, right? They'll have where the guns are to where you can have every single gun. Let me pause. A side note about that. Why do we have to pick up the ammo at such a slow rate in the firing range? It literally should just be a thing to where you just click to fill it up. Why are we waiting for a respawn? We're testing out stuff. I shouldn't be waiting for my ammo. That to me is just that's stupid. That's like user interface. That's terrible. All right. Anyway, I digress. With the firing range, we know they're implementing a means to be able to do that, especially and even at limited lobby sizes, 30 people to, be in this lobby. That should be permanent. It should be something that players should be able to do. Layman's, right? I have no idea what the intricacies and the ins and outs of what goes into that as far as servers and whatnot. Whatever it is, do it. I think the payoff is huge. I think allowing people who don't care to play, maybe there's people who are in a position to where all they want to do is talk about the game. I love to play, so that's not me, but if there was someone like me who wanted to talk about the game as an analyst perspective, just to expand on the game, having that option to go into the map and say, oh, well, this is a cool angle. This is a cool area. This is a cool this is cool that. This is dope. This is not good. That would be awesome. Instead of being limited to until you die, or if the dropship doesn't go in that area, it's kind of left to chance. I think giving the players that ability to just fall in love with the game even more, what do you have to lose? Nothing. Maybe a little more time, maybe a little more money paid to workers to get it done, but the long-term benefit to be able to have that ability, the freedom to just get into these maps, these areas, and just test out weapons, and again, further with the clubs, be able to be in there with other like-minded people, like you said, and do 3v3s or do these custom game modes to where you can be like, all right, well, we're gonna just use Pathfinder to make ropes from these areas and be like, the floor is lava, you can only stay on the zip lines, and we turn off the thing where it's like, oh, okay, you can only bounce on the zip line once. It's like, no, it's a spider web, and the floor is lava. If you touch the ground, you die. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. Yeah, it's not gonna be tournament worthy. It's not gonna be anything that could break the game. It would just be a fun thing to do with friends in the club. That I think would be incredible. That going forward with custom games, with clubs, it would be awesome. I think in addition to that, it does meld very nicely with firing range and how it needs to be fixed. I don't know when how quickly some of that would take to implement. I think, again, if they did it where they did points of interest instead of just trying to release the whole map like that, I think that would make a lot of sense, to where you're kind of forced to stay in that area because you just die and then you respawn back into the center area. It would be nice to have the full map. That, I think, is more what people would want. But I think more realistically, how Respawn is as it stands, even EA, it could even be just EA, but whoever, as it stands, I would see them doing more of a points of interest with, firing range like abilities, to where you could add dummies that would roam around that don't attack, and having that, you're right, the custom game modes. I think all of that said, I think that is kind of the quality of life I see for that. And then in addition to that, crafting skins and whatnot, I don't use the Mozambique all that much, but I've got like 2 legendary skins for it that I've got out of Apex packs. Let's talk about how we can fix that, right? I use specific weapons, right? Like most people. I don't care about the Mozambique. I want to start using it more, but anyway, I digress. I think it would be nice if we had the option to sell back for crafting tokens the skins we don't use, like the white ones or some of the blue ones or some of the purple ones or whatever. If we could sell them back for a reduced, if it costs 15, you get 5. If it costs 10, you get 3. If it costs 5, you get 1, kind of a thing. Something like that, that then we can say, okay, I've got all these skins, I'm going to get rid of them. But you still could get those skins again. Right? So it's like it's like a double-edged sword. It's like you get crafting tokens back, but you're also re-adding the one you didn't want back to the pool. So it's kind of like, the odds still favor Respawn to make money, because at one point you go through and you get rid of all of those ones. You just now added back to the pool the ones you didn't want. So the favors, the odds are kind of against you, but still you can use those to purchase the one you want, the 1 or 2 skins that you do want. And I think that's awesome, because like you can get the ones for the skins you can get the skins for the guns you do like, Wingman, Hemlock, Spitfire, R99, or whatever. I think that would just be one of those things that I personally believe to be just like so easy that they could just do and be like, we did it. Oh, there you go. Here you go. Here it is. I think that would be legit. Continuing right along, one of the things that I have been craving ever since BRs, have become a thing, is another game that is deathmatch oriented, right? I'm a huge Killzone player. I've played every single Killzone there is, and I long for deathmatch. I played Halo on console and as well as on PC, but I like the story of Halo. The multiplayer I'm not a big fan of, but Killzone was my thing. Apex Legends reminds me so much of Killzone and how much I enjoyed it and why I fell in love with it. The story is amazing. And aside to the firing range being what I said it could be, deathmatch mode, I think, would allow players to get familiar with the weapons, with the legends, but more so practice just aim all around, because, Apex Legends is such a rinse and repeat style game, to where you play, you go back to the lobby. You play, you go back to the lobby. Rinse and repeat. You just keep doing it over and over. And that's, for some people, they can do that. But for people who don't play the game that long, it is just exhausting. And I can have days where I'll turn on Apex, and I'll get in a game or two and I'm done. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Like I get exhausted, because either you get teamed with people and you get frustrated, and I'm gonna expand on this even more when I talk about solos. But I think having a deathmatch mode to where you die, you come back, you die, you come back, you die, you come back, you die, you come back. Whoa, we won that game. Sweet. And then I'll do it again. Not only am I getting familiar with the guns, we can talk a little bit about how Legends would work with that, because you're not just gonna play Bangalore, right? You're not just gonna have a character that's like, oh, you get this smoke grenade. I think it could work as far as like how Legends have abilities, right? Not necessarily taking away abilities, but in a way to use it as a team basis, because you have deathmatch with, I don't know, lobbies of 8 with a small portion of the map, because again, where would they play, right? I could see them doing similar to what I was saying about, clubs and the firing range. All of this all is melds into one unit of what I'm talking about. But I could see them having points of interest being the focus, right? I could see them being like, okay, we're going to have Skull Town, Skull Candy, as I call it, be the ring. All right, where these two teams are going to fight, or team deathmatch, where the deathmatch is going to be held. All right, and you start on this side, or if it's deathmatch, there's just different points like a deathmatch is, and you spawn there randomly. If there's a lot of players over here, you spawn over here. If there's a lot of players over here, you spawn over here. Or if there's everywhere, good luck. But yeah, I could see that being the way it's structured, right? You're Skull Town, you're Thunderdome, you're at Harvester, wherever that, and the ring is the barrier, right? That's the go back to the area because this is happening. Or they could do the full map. It could be 30v30, right? That team deathmatch, and then it's just like you just go and fight in those areas, and then first team to whatever the score is, however it works. That's how that would be. And then expanding on that, ultimates, how that would work. Okay, I could see it being like a team-based ultimate that would then lead to be like, okay, this map specifically, this area has caustic vents in it, right? I don't know. Let's say it's bunker and you're in that area, and like if the team is closer or whatever, they can go and do that. Or let's make a little more sense here. If you have a kill streak and you go into the area and you punch in the code, it allows it to like vent the rooms, like it shuts the door, and if there's people fighting in that, you're gonna get gassed. That's just how that would be. I think that would be legit. I think something like that. Or if you're a Bangalore, or not if you're a Bangalore, but like to utilize like some outdoor areas. Let's say it could do like a carpet bomb where it's just like a bigger version of Bangalore's ability, or like Crypto, his area on the map in Kings Canyon, where you can call that in and it'll scan the map for you. Similar, you're definitely taking from what's already out there, which I don't see as a bad thing. That's creation. We come up with these ideas and we expand on them. That's what it is. That's how you make something better, and you make it new and you make it work for you. I think that could be done, right? Further still about deathmatch, I could see it being competitive to an extent, especially if you did some like 3v3s deathmatch style, to where it's like you do it rounds or whatever. Adding more customization to how the game is played, I think only will benefit Apex Legends, because you get to build communities within the community who like to do these other things, as well as you have people who take it to that next level. They're like, okay, well, let's bring in Olympus for that minute. There's all these POIs in the game, and it's like, dude, imagine running down with like 6v6, team deathmatch, and there's just so much to it. Solo mode, permanent. All right, why not? I don't see any downside for them adding it. It goes without saying, if people want to play solos, they're gonna play it. If people want to play duos, they're gonna play it. I'm sure the statistics show that this many people play duos, and it barely grows, and that's fine, because those people who play duos really enjoy it. It's nice to where if you're waiting for your third to come on and they're gonna take a little while, they're using the bathroom, they're making food, they're whatever, you can be like, all right, hey, let's just run some duos just to play the game and get practice or whatever, warm up. Just the same as solos. If you're waiting for your duo to get on, or you're waiting for whatever and you want to play, and you don't want the headache of like, oh, okay, I'm playing and my teammate ran off because they're Predator in an open game and they play for themselves, right? Give those Predators solos. Give the people who want to play solos permanently. Don't make it a limited time mode. I get it. Holidays, the Mirage, the train, I love that on World's Edge. I thought that was super dope, right? It kept people in the game. It was engaging. Could have been, that's neither here nor there. But stuff like that, yeah, limited time. Solo? No. We get it. It's a team-based game. We get it, right? Totally understand. But why solo? Not being in the game? Question marks? I don't get that. Personally, it doesn't make any sense at this point. You've held out for long enough. Spin over and take it. Give us the solos as an option, and let's see what happens. I think it's only something that will help the game. It might fluctuate games for a time, maybe a few weeks, but after that, things are going to balance out. People are going to be like, okay, I'm over it. Or people will play it, to play it. I might just do solos and then play ranked with my brothers. I think giving the people what they want in that regard, adding solos to the game permanently, only stands to benefit Apex going forward, period. I see it coming, but I've been wrong before, and Respawn/EA, they like to hold out on us. And hey, whatever. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, my final thoughts, okay? I've discussed a lot about, big changes of Season 7, what's to come. Clubs, more specifically, something I really think is a huge win for the community. It gives us so much opportunity to grow and build upon itself. The quality of life things in regards to tournaments, and how I think Season 7 and onward could potentially give us more entertainment value and just all around a great new way to experience, the games as far as tournaments goes and things like that. The quality of life as far as, the firing range, the user interface and things like that. Deathmatch mode needs to be in the game. Rather, it could be something nice that could grow the game even bigger than it is currently. Solo mode permanently coming to the game would be huge. Why not? Give us solos, please. I'm begging you. Lovey Dub begs you, and I don't beg anyone but myself. Okay, maybe one other person I beg, but that's it. You could be the third. Me, the other person, and you. Beg you. In my most brassy, baritone, delicious voice, I beg you, please give us solo, please. Anyway, still nothing in this cup, but this has been Lovey Dub with the Apex Legends Report. What do you think of the things I talked about today? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Let me know in the comments. You really enjoyed this, leave a like. You really, really love this and you want yourself a glass like this, you can't have one, but what you can do, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more from me. This has been Lovey Dove with the Apex Legends Report. Thank you. Be safe. Peace. I think that's it, dude.